Welcome back. Today, I want to talk about lemons, but not that kind of lemon, sea lemons. Um, it's not quite right either. Hang on. Sea lemon nudibranchs. There we go. Nudibranchs are a kind of sea slug, and we have 3 species in the Salish Sea that are all commonly called sea lemons: the Monterey, the Noble, and the Heath's Dorid. Let's take a closer look and see how we can tell these 3 lookalikes apart when we're out on the beach. Sea lemons are in a suborder of sea slugs called dorids. This group makes up the majority of nudibranchs around the world. These images show just a small sampling of the variety of dorid nudibranchs we have here in the Salish Sea. All of our Salish Sea lemons have body plans that look like this. The main part of their body is the mantle, which covers and houses their internal organs and hangs over the edges of their large, soft foot. They have cool-looking organs on their head called rhinophores that look a bit like antennae. These are chemosensory organs used for smelling and tasting around, to find food — sea lemons love to eat sea sponges — and to find friends with benefits. The top of the mantle is covered in bumpy structures called tubercles. They're kind of the main thing I use to distinguish between our 3 types of sea lemons, but we'll get to that in a minute. At the back end are the gills. Sea lemon gills are a fluffy, floofy, flower-shaped plume that surround the sea lemon's butt, or anus if you want to be more professional about it. Okay, so how can we tell the difference between these 3 common Salish sea lemons? Let's start with the Monterey sea lemon. In spite of their name, they are very common to see here in Washington state. Monterey sea lemons often have black spots on their mantle. The key identifier for this species for me is looking closely at those black spots to see if they are on top of those bumps or tubercles. The Monterey lemon is the only one of these 3 species that has black spots that are on top of those bumps. Not all of their black spots are on top of their tubercles, but there definitely will be some. So keep your eyes open for that. Taking a look at the size and shape of these tubercles is another good way to identify them. Their tubercles have sort of a medium profile, and they can be a little bit more pointed in shape when under the water, but when these animals are out during the low tide, they look a little bit more rounded, something like this. Their butt floof, or rather gill plume, is usually pretty solid in color, ranging from shades of yellow and sometimes looking almost black. Next up is the noble sea lemon. This species is the largest of our lemons, sometimes reaching 8 or more inches long. So if you're out tide pooling and you see a ginormous sea lemon, it might be a noble sea lemon. Although I do have to say, we have some pretty chunky Monterey sea lemons out there as well. Noble sea lemons can also have black spots on their body, but those spots will never be on top of the tubercles. Their tubercles are very distinctive, with a prominent profile and a round, knobby shape. Their butt floof tends to be lighter in color, white or yellow, and often lined with white. And check this out. Sometimes noble sea lemons are orange. They still have those characteristic knobby, rounded, prominent tubercles, white lining around the gill plume you can see there, and spots that are not on top of the tubercles, but their color might look a little bit like this. Last, we have the Heath's Dorid, which is commonly referred to as a sea lemon as well. The Heaths can also have black spots, but theirs will never be on top of the tubercles either. Heath's Dorid tubercles have a very distinctive look that is different than the other 2. They have a very low profile, making the texture of this lemon look a lot more flat. Their butt floof tends to be light yellow to dusky yellow, and sometimes they're sprinkled with brownish flecks. Here's a heath on the move so you can get a good view. And another thing to look for to differentiate this particular species is that sometimes they will have a big brown splooch right in front of their gill plume, and you can see that here. So that's pretty unique to the heath's dorid. So hopefully by now, when you're out on the beach, you'll have some tools and tricks to help you differentiate between the Monterey, the noble, and the heath's dorid. I'm going to leave a link for you in the description here, so you can either take a screenshot of this page, or you can go to follow the link and download this little infographic and put it on your phone, take it to the beach with you, so it can help you identify our sea lemons when you're out in the field. Thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you soon.